Do you have term insurance? And if not, how do you know how much you need? My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen. And in this video, we are going to break down term insurance so that you know exactly how much you need.
Right now, I recently attended a funeral of a family member, and that prior to that funeral, we had like a family barbecue because that's what we do when someone passes away and everybody comes in town. And the conversation was about life insurance. And I was surprised at the amount of people in my family, not only that didn't have life insurance, but didn't even know what term insurance was. So the whole point of this video isn't just for them, but it's for you all who may not know either.
Now, just so you know, Darius and I are life insurance agents, and we have been selling life insurance for over 7 years, and we have helped hundreds of clients create financial stability using life insurance. So what is term insurance? Term insurance, we lovingly refer to it as rented insurance. And the reason why we say rented is because we want to get you in the mindset that this isn't something that you have for a long period of time. It's temporary insurance, let's call it that. And the reason being is because term insurance is only going to allow you to have life insurance for a specific period of time. And that time frame can be a 10-year term, a 20-year term, or a 30-year term. So hence why we say rented insurance, where you have life insurance for that specific period of time.
Right. Now, when you come up with how much it's going to cost you, what you want to do is you want to take your income and do a multiple of 10 or 15 years. This is the easiest way to come up with how much life insurance you need. Now, depending on your age, when you come and talk to us, what we'll do is we'll put in that death benefit and it'll spit out a number as to how much it costs. Mm-hmm. The cost is going to vary depending on your age. The cheapest insurance you'll ever get is your age right now. The cheapest insurance your children will get is the age they are at that time. The younger you are, the cheaper the life insurance is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Now, why do you need life insurance? And I'm saying life insurance in general because there's many different products when we're talking about life insurance. So let's just talk in general. Why do you even need it? You need life insurance because life insurance is about income replacement, right? So you have insurance on your life the same way you have insurance on your car or your home, right? Because if something happened to your house, if it goes up in flames, you have insurance to buy a new home. If your car crashes and it's totaled, you have insurance to buy a new car. Life insurance is if you pass away, your income can be replaced, meaning that your dependents, your spouses, your children, parents, whomever is dependent on you financially will have money that will sustain their lifestyle so that if you pass away, then the money just doesn't go away overnight. So the idea, again, is making sure that you're considering and you're forward thinking, who do I need to protect financially in the event of my death? And in addition to the income replacement, what life insurance can also do is be a perk to help pay for your burial expenses, right? So the idea is if you pass away and it costs 10, 12, 15 grand to bury you, because that's how much it costs in 2024, your family can use a portion of the funds from your life insurance policies to pay for your funeral expenses.
Right. Now, Carmen mentioned earlier that term insurance is for a specific term, be it 10, 20 or 30 years. So what we want to take in consideration is if we buy a term, like for me, first term that I had is with my first job. And with that, my life changed as I got married. So at that point, I wanted to buy additional term insurance because I have to take care of a household and a family. My financial needs changed. Mm-hmm. The reason why we want to do this is because when you buy a term insurance policy, that death benefit stays exactly the same for that term. But we may have things that come up in our lives or additions to our lives that we need to cover for the insurance expenses that we have.
Yeah, we like to call these life cycles. Your life cycles change as you add more people into your life, right? When you're single, maybe in your 20s, you probably don't need $2 million worth of death benefit, which is what your term insurance, what you're buying. So we have something called a premium, which is the cost for insurance. Your premium, let's call it $500 a year, is going to buy you $500,000 of death benefit. We know that number because we did a quote on Darius, and unfortunately that was at a 30-year-old, 38-year-old. We're talking about being in your 20s, but you get the point that we're saying is that life insurance or term life insurance can be relatively cheap, recognizing that it's providing you a large death benefit. So for $500 for $500,000 of death benefit, that's a nice deal if you're just trying to have a little bit of income supplement. And like Darius said, when we go through life cycles, if we're in our 20s, our death benefit might not be the same as what it might be be in our late 30s and 40s and 50s because we recognize that the life cycles are going to change and our needs are going to increase. This also makes sense for your income. Anytime you get a raise and you have more income, that's an opportunity for you to think about getting more insurance because that's more income that isn't covered by insurance.
Right. Now, as I sat there with my family explaining these different nuances of just term insurance, why did they not have insurance? It's because they had a lack of understanding. There wasn't anyone that would sit down and have this conversation with them. And we want to have this conversation with you because don't just limit yourself to what we're telling you. Also do your own research because knowledge is power. Knowledge is the potential of power. Right? I'll say that. Knowledge is the potential of power. It becomes power when you decide to use the information that you have to improve your life. And what we want to share with you is that just because you don't know something doesn't mean you need to continue down that path.
Yeah, of not taking action.
Of not taking action. There you go.
Yeah, because that's another thing that is probably stopping our family from you from taking action. So we said the lack of understanding and then also the lack of action. And if we want to motivate you further, the fact of the matter is 50% of Americans have no life insurance. That means 50% of some of y'all out there have no income insurance. Let's call it what it is, right? So if you pass away, your spouse is going to be strapped for cash. Your children are going to be strapped for cash because they're dependent on your income, right? So if we can help you cover your income, please click on the link below. As you see, this is a topic that we are very passionate about because as we continue to serve more of our clients, as we continue to lose loved ones, we are reminded of the value that we are trying to instill in our families' lives by showing you the power of life insurance. And you can really cover your income with just a simple term insurance policy that's really inexpensive.
Right. So the question is, what is the risk we run when we don't have life insurance?
The risk you run is your family being broke and not being able to sustain their existing lifestyle.
Right. And what we'll have to do is a GoFundMe to take care of the funeral expenses.
Yeah.
Or we might be stuck selling plates to raise capital for the burial expenses.
Can you say what selling plates means for our people who aren't Southern?
Oh, okay. So for our Southern folks, what that means is instead of a GoFundMe back in the day, people would sell plates out of their house to raise money to bury the person that just passed away.
So you see, that's the risk that you run. Now, the other risk that you run, let's talk about the risk of term insurance. There's no risk with term insurance per se, but the risk is if you buy a term policy for 10 years and you're coming up on year 9 and you don't have a plan to get more insurance, the idea is you need to get more insurance. And now what happens is you're 9 years older. The risk is you don't know if you're healthy enough to get more life insurance. Because the one thing that we didn't explain is that you can only get life insurance if you are not considered high risk. Right. What does high risk mean? Is that you are not high risk to this temple, right? You're healthy, you're not smoking, you're not like doing bad things, because the idea is the insurance companies only want to give you insurance if you're good to your temple. Right? Because they want to make sure that you can sustain this as long as possible. And if you have a lifestyle that is not sustainable, then it's probably running the case where you are not insurable.
Or it may be more expensive to get insurance.
Thank you. So the risk that you run with term insurance is running out of time and or running out of the abilities for you to have insurance that's going to cover your entire life. Okay. Now, I realize that's kind of a teaser. There's another product out there, a life insurance policy called Whole Life, where it insures you for your entire life, but this isn't that video. So we'll make another one so you can check that out. But again, this is just term insurance. So the risk that you run is recognizing 9 years into a 10-year term, you need more insurance and it's going to be more expensive because you are now 9 years older.
Right. And you should have insurance regardless of what type of investments that you have.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
The thing is with those investments and you pass away, yes, it'll be great for whoever your beneficiary is or for your children, but they have to understand how to maintain and manage those investments also. What are they going to do with those funds? So having a life insurance policy, a term insurance policy, is whenever you pass away, you don't have to pay taxes on those funds. You don't have to worry about going through probate because it goes directly to your beneficiary tax free.
Yeah, so let's explain that process. The next part about life insurance is when you pass away, the death benefit, that $500,000 that we were talking about earlier, gets paid to your beneficiaries tax-free, just like Darius said. And now that money is in your bank account, and your loved ones can now utilize that money to sustain their lifestyle. What needs to happen, family, is that should also come with some instructions on how to keep the money moving, right? So you're teaching your family how to take that $500,000 and either invest it or use it responsibly so that they can continue the legacy and it doesn't just burn up in a few years. And what we really want to continue to stress with this whole point is don't just limit yourself to one policy, because as long as you're insurable and as long as you don't extend your human life value, meaning how much the insurance company will give you, you have the ability to get multiple policies. And we absolutely believe that you should do so because, again, those life cycles change. You're going to have more income. You're going to have more dependents. There's more money that's on the line. And if you only are banking on that policy from when you're 20 years old and now you're 39 or now you're 40, that life is going to look a lot different. So you have to make sure that you keep up with the death benefit so that it can cover as much of your income as possible. And lastly, what we are going to leave you with, which is one of the most important points, is that it is very advantageous for you to purchase convertible term insurance. What I mean specifically by that is buying term insurance with a company that sells other life insurance products, so that when your term runs out, or if you decide that you want to convert the term, meaning carry your death benefit over to a different life insurance product, you can do so. If you only work with a life insurance company that only sells term insurance, then you can't convert it. So that's why we say convertible term insurance in the meaning of working with a company that has other products. So when life cycles change, you can say, I want whole life insurance, or I want this, or I want more term, whatever it is, you have the ability to mix and mingle what you got going on.
Right. And the benefit to that is you can convert your term insurance policy, which is for a set period of time, to a permanent life insurance product, which means you'll have life insurance for the rest of your life. And if that's something that is important to you, make sure you click on the link below to meet with an agent.
Remember to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.